My first words were, "So, the spirit was bad." My first words after returning from there was eternal life. I am God. That's how it was. I came after work in the evening at 1995th year. The situation of the house was not very disposal of meditation, but nevertheless, I decided to try again. Before that, I have tried various meditation techniques many times, but somehow it did not work out what I wanted. But I wanted to know, who is God? Is it at all? The day before, my friend brought the cassette. At that time, there were cassette tape recorders. It was 30 years ago. And so I wanted to listen. The situation was not very disposal. The fact is that at home, repair took place. And in this room, where I wanted to do meditation, all the furniture was practically there, in this room. The son was preparing lessons, the TV worked. In general, the situation is not bad. This is meditation, about which they always talk about how sitting on the ocean in the pose of the lotus, crossing the legs, putting his fingers in a certain wise, closing our eyes, we expect some miracle. This is meditation. But in fact, everything is wrong. Well, in any case, it was wrong with me. I put on a headphones, and I think to listen to this music. Or he brought something, I did not even know something. At first I liked it. I think I'll listen to it. And I sidle, leaning forward, not in the pose of the lotus. And unexpectedly the lower body simply dissolved. She was gone, it was not at all. And as soon as I thought about it, I straightened the body. Well, that is, what remains of the body, the upper part. And that's all. The body is gone, and the world has no connection with this earthly, so-called world. Where did I end up? Yes, by the way, there is no connection with this earthly world at all. I found myself in a divine state, so to speak, in a state of absolute. What is this expressed? A feeling of absolute infinity, incredible power. And here is a quiet, calm pleasure of this village with great power. And here in this state, well, this is the limit, what you can expect at all. And now, having arrived at some time in this state, I felt as some kind of unknown power, it pushes me. I was not in the image of the body, I just knew that it was me. And some power from under a huge thickness or earth, or water pushes me upstairs. And I am internally somewhere. I just resisted this. That is, I do not want to get out of this state at all. Well, finally, I again ended up in this body, in complete bewilderment why I am here and not there. Yes, and the first thing I wanted to tell my wife and my son is what I said, eternal life, I am God. Yes, for them it was a shock. But they did not react in any way, just in any way. And the first thought, why am I here again? It was so good for me there. Then it came such a strange, I will watch this movie to the end. Where does it come from? Well, this, apparently, has always loved cinema since childhood. With the baby more. They took me to all my parents, to all the cinema that just passed. And one day did not pass so that I would not be in the cinema. Well, in general, this life, which we call the earthly, is cinema. Whose movie? Well, a movie of this absolute mind. There is no one else. He looks. He is embodied in everything he wants, and in this way he enjoys it. But in subsequent videos, of course, I will say why this is happening. Why in the image of a person, and not in any way? And in general, why a person is needed. Yes, well, this retreat is small. In general, returning from this absolute state, the state of absolute bliss, the body was saturated with incredible power. To such an extent that just this energy was not placed, it is a silver in my body, it was just ready to burst. And so it went on for 6 months. This power is not possible nowhere, this power. Well, to everyone to whom I talked about this, they listened. It seemed to me that they listened. And no one reacted in any way. This is the most amazing thing, that all that I told this, they did not react in any way. So they looked at me, listened, and that's all. When I returned to ordinary topics, everything was returning. Everything happened as it was. Well, then I stopped telling anyone already. And this is... Secret is the bliss that I wanted to share with my friends, relatives, and sometimes even unfamiliar people. It turned out that no one needed it, except me. And now I have lived with this. Well, until the moment came to tell you. Whether you need it or not, you decide. All you heard about God, well, how to tell you? This is not quite that. That's the state. Absolute bliss and enjoyment of their own power incredible. This is what I was looking for. There is simply nowhere to look for further. Well, after that, of course, some kind of disappointment happens when you strove. And there's just nowhere else to strive. The limit came to me by knowledge. And here somehow, and there you cannot return there yet, because it is not your will. And here to stay boring at all. Well, so how many have passed? More than 30 years, I'm still here. And finally, maybe you will hear me if someone turns on the video by chance. Or maybe not by chance. I don't see you, but do you see me? There is also a big question. But we will definitely talk about this topic again. Well, today, apparently, that's it.